I know as a coach, I've had the honor of discussing with lots of different parents and different individuals shifting their lifestyle and getting many of the toxins that you've already talked about, like out of your life, just out of your house, out of your life. But then there's what is called or deemed an inconvenience factor, right? All of the other things are so much more readily available. And if you go out to eat or you dine in a restaurant, it's so much easier to go with whatever somebody tells you is on the menu versus asking the critical questions about what do you have that's organic. So, what can you say to an individual who is saying, yes, I'm on board. I desire to be part of this movement. And it's okay if people don't understand the why, but when I feel like I'm being a burden to the people that are either in my household or that I'm going out and socializing with, how do I handle that part? Because I know I get that question a lot,
Oh,
and I
that's
would love to
such a
hear what
good
you have
one.
to say.
Oh boy. Well, I don't want to shame people for being at a restaurant and enjoying something they've really been jonesing for, and even if it's not really good for them. The rule is that about 2/3 of your diet should be organic to get your best exposures. The more you go after that, the better the results. But 2/3 is about the minimum. That's the good number to hit at least. I think that when you're dealing with friends and stuff, um, I kind of just figure, okay, I'm gonna be the Larry David at the table, and I'm gonna ask the questions, the odd questions, like, "Where's that salmon from?" Or do you have any organic foods, salads? And if they don't, then I go to the next level, which is kind of low toxin, and I share in raising healthy kids. This is for both adults and kids. What if you're in a situation like you're mentioning, Amber, where there is no great choice. There's only better choices. So, for example, one time driving home from Northern California with all the kids, it was really late at night. They were really hungry. As you go along the interstate, you see all these hubs, right, where all these fast food restaurants are. And one kid's saying, "I want In and Out," and another kid says, "I want Jack in the Box," right? So what I found a Subway, and I got them to eat the turkey and the tuna Subway sandwiches, which were a lot better than going to the Burger King, the Carl's, or the others. At other times, I might get them to go to an El Pollo Loco, for example. Also, in the South, there's BurgerFi, there's Shake Shack, and those are really serving actually organic foods now with their fast food, including grass-fed beef for their burgers. So there are choices you can make for your kids, and maybe for your friends too, where they don't even know it. If you want to go out for fast food, why don't you can suggest a place like Shake Shack, and there are others that are serving organic foods now. BurgerFi, El Pollo Loco again is low toxin. Uh, you know, in ter- with foods, for example, the fattiest foods tend to have the most pesticides when it comes to flesh foods like beef, lamb, pork. So another rule is look for the leanest cuts of meat. Like chicken is a much better choice than steak. For example, when you're dining out, you can get a poultry dish would be better. A turkey would be even better. Turkey is even lower than chicken. Um, Also, in terms of, for example, vegetables, that there's some that are lower toxin. Like we go through them in the book, um, and so that's one way to deal with it. Is just to order lower toxin foods. For example, if you're getting a dessert instead of getting ice cream, you can get sherbet because ice cream with all its fat will have the most fat soluble pesticides, whereas a sherbet, well, it'll have sugar like ice cream will, but it won't have the same amount of pesticides in it. So there are ways to kind of work around it. Otherwise, I guess you're going to be kind of like Larry David on Curb Your Enthusiasm, and just be the square in the round hole.
Yeah, and that can be fun in its own right, right?
Well, um, Larry seems to have a lot of fun with it. Larry David. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think no, I think you have to do it. I think you have to do it, and but you have to, and you know what, your body will respond too. Another example, like when you're traveling, for example, people tend to want to eat at fast food places when they're on business and they're traveling and stuff. But you can go to a supermarket, and anywhere in the country now, you can go to a supermarket and find organic foods and bring them back to your hotel or motel room, and eat a better, more controlled meal. And your body will appreciate it too. You won't gain weight on your trips and stuff. So I think there are ways to get around it, without um, really being a burden to anybody, and just kind of not talking down to them, but just kind of, this is how I roll, and they kind of have to roll with it too.